This is Moments of Hope, brought to you by the Missionary Church Association in Jamaica. I am your host, Marja Elaine Francis, welcoming you to the program. We all have life experiences resulting in joy or sadness, positively or negatively affecting our mental health. Jesus knew we would experience difficult days, and so he leaves a word of reassurance for us in John 14, verse 27. Peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you, not as the world gives do I give to you. Do not let your heart be troubled, nor let it be fearful. The truth is, sometimes we do get fearful because of what is happening around us or some things that we perceive. However, we are learning that it's important not to focus on the fear, but focus on whom we believe and trust God to take us through every experience that we have and to make us healthy and whole. May is observed as Mental Health Awareness Month, and as we reflect on all that we have experienced so far in 2022, I have a question for you. How is your mental health? My guest today is Anika McNaught. She's a personal development coach and youth leader at the Ossington Avenue Baptist Church in Canada. And today we will focus on mental health matters. First, let's listen to this song. It's Already Done by Kevin Downswell and Ryan Mark.
Ryan Mark, Kevin Downswell. I don't know who you are. I don't know where you are, but God said to tell you, it's already done. My friend, you're coming out. You're coming out.
God is speaking.
I see you wondering why me, in the midst of your adversity.
God is speaking.
But if you dare trust in me, I will supply all you need. I will take you over, I will take you over, I will never leave, to you I will cleave. I'm standing right there in the midst of your fear. I will be your brother, man, stay close to me, my son. It's already done, it's already done, the victory is won. It's already done. I will not die here, even though I've cried here. The victory is won. It's already done. Ryan Mark. I often ask why me, why they took my family. Oh, yeah. And when the world is falling on my shoulders, yes, I fall on my knees. Whoa, Lord, take me over. Please take me over. Please do not leave. To you I will cleave. I know that you're right here, standing in my days. You are my Father. Stay close to me, Master. It's already done. It's already done.
Anika McNaught, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me today.
It's good to have you. Now, Anika, we know people of all age, race, and socioeconomic background are predisposed to mental health challenges, Christian included, yes? How would you define mental health?
Wow, mental health is such a broad topic. But for me, I would define mental health as a social, emotional, and psychological well-being. It's a way how we feel, how we think, how we act. And in the DSM-5, it gives a broad, definition of over 300 mental health illnesses, and they're grouped in 7 different groups. So we have the mood disorders, We have anxiety disorders, we have personality disorders, we have psychotic disorders such as schizophrenia, and we have eating disorders, trauma-related disorders, and substance abuse disorders. As I mentioned, it's a broad topic, and we have to make sure we take care of our mental health.
Indeed, we need to take care of our mental health. I know you have defined it for us, and you did say it's a broad topic, but what are some signs that one may be experiencing that are evident that one may be experiencing any mental health problem?
If a person has a long-lasting sadness or irritability, they have confused thinking or reduced ability to concentrate, significant tiredness, low energy or problems sleeping, inability to cope. You have, suicidal thoughts, danger of oneself or another. You talk about violence and so on and so forth. Detachment from reality. So you look on delusions, paranoia or hallucinations. You talk about social withdrawal from others, excessive fear, worry, and the list goes. It's a long list. So those are some of the signs that you can look on, to observe. Those are some of the signs, that you can observe in someone who have mental illness, and, encourage them to get help.
I like that you say encourage them to get help, because in the same way, when we're not physically well, we go seek help from a doctor, right?
Right.
I like this quote: going to a counselor or therapist when you're feeling sad or overwhelmed should be as normal as going to the doctor when you have flu or any other physical condition, because we know there's no good health without good mental health. I want for you to share, Anika, with our listeners, what are some practical tips persons can use to help maintain good mental health?
For me personally, I have done journaling, just take myself away from the situation, go by the lake. The other individuals have their own liking. So you can go by the lake, you can go for a walk, you can exercise, make sure you're eating healthy. Make sure you join community groups that, can help you to feel good about yourself. Yes. And encourage you to stay on top of things. Don't take on too much work, because a lot of times we take on too much and it leads to stress, it leads to burnt out. And as a result, we become overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And that leads to, depression, it leads to stress, and our moods tend to go up and down. You can practice effective self-care, right? Avoid people pleasing, because sometimes we tend to go out and we want to please everybody. Yes. And, then it causes us to feel guilty, right? And then we're like, oh no, I promise, XYZ that I want to do this. And when we see that we can't fulfill the thing, then it causes such a big burden on ourselves. The next thing, speak up. If you find that something is affecting you, speak up about it, because when you suppress it, you find that you are going down into that deep mode, you're withdrawing yourself, isolation, and the list goes on and on, right? When you speak up, you create room for greater communication. You create room for that ability where you can socialize with others and get help where necessary. And the most important thing, make sure you pray. Don't leave out prayer, because we have to communicate with God, right? We cannot go on our day-to-day life without God. So God is the head of our lives, and he's the one that can guide us through this, right? Through prayer, reading the scripture, and delving deep into the word, that can help us to stay mentally strong.
That will certainly help. And we cannot overemphasize enough the importance of therapy. Seeing a counselor, a trained counselor, even as Christians, right, Anika?
Right, yes. I just want to point that I'm glad that you brought that up, because I have it here. Get professional help. It took me until I was age 25 to actually get help because I thought within myself that getting help, I don't know if it's gonna help me or not, right? Because I'm the type of person back then who just suppressed everything inside. And I realized that it came to a point where I had to speak up. I had to get help to deal with this trauma that I had faced in my childhood, right? I can't keep going on without, seeking that professional help, because when you are deeply wounded, you find that you go on and you wound somebody else. You talk about bleeding on others, right? So professional help helps you to understand who you are. It helps you to create that structure in your life, and it helps you to understand that it's okay not to be okay. It helps you to understand that yes, you may be wounded today, but as you grow and develop those resilient muscles, you will become better tomorrow. And it also helps you to accept who you are and do something that you're really good at.
I like that you said accept who you are and accept that it's okay to not be okay, because the truth is some days are better than some. And as you mentioned, being okay with going to the counselor. For me personally, I mean, if I'm not well physically, I'm going to go to the doctor and, doctor give me a prescription. I spend the money and fill it. If mentally I'm not okay, I'm feeling low, I'm feeling confused, depressed, I am going to call up a counselor, spend my money, and go sit and speak with that trained counselor, because they're trained similar to our doctor would be trained to deal with you physically. The counselor is trained to deal with you mentally. And so it's important that we take care of ourselves.